Russia has lost a Su-30SM multi-role fighter while it was carrying out a mission southeast of Zmyny, Snake Island in the Black Sea. According to the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine, Ukrainian naval intelligence intercepted radio communications indicating a sudden loss of contact with the aircraft during its operation in the area. The cause of the crash has not yet been determined. Reports suggest that the aircraft went down over the sea, with debris already spotted floating on the surface. Search and rescue efforts are underway as Russian forces attempt to locate the missing pilots. The loss of a Su-30SM represents a notable setback for Russian aviation in the Black Sea theater, where the aircraft type has been used extensively for patrol, strike, and escort missions. The incident highlights the ongoing risks faced by Russian air operations near contested zones, especially in areas where Ukrainian surveillance and intercept capabilities remain active. Ukrainian helicopter pilots shoot down Russian Shaheds in the air at almost point-blank range. The war in Ukraine has resulted in so many Russians joining war industries, the army, dying or being crippled that the Russian government needs to import millions of Indians and North Koreans to replace them. Ordinary Russians aren't keen, calling them unhygienic or robotic. Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin recently admitted that the country is currently experiencing a drastic shortage of labor due to the consequences of the demographic collapse and the movement of workers to the military-industrial complex. Russia is forecast to be short of 2 million workers by 2030, particularly in the trade, healthcare, and manufacturing sectors. An official of the Agency for Strategic Initiatives says that a shortage of construction workers could mean that house building will cease in 5 to 7 years. So few Russian doctors are now available that paramedics and midwives are being permitted to take over doctors' work from 1st September. The situation is catastrophic in industry, construction, and agriculture. In energy and IT, it is slightly better, says Anton Vino. Russian specialists in a range of industries are increasingly being replaced by imported Indian and Chinese workers. This comes with challenges, as many do not speak Russian and have to communicate via online translators. Russia's official unemployment is only 2.2%, which is de facto full employment. Many Russian workers have either joined the army, with at least 1 million dead or wounded in Ukraine, according to recent counts, or have joined war industries. Both types of employment are significantly better paid than most Russian jobs. However, the massive scale of the shift has caused significant problems for the rest of the economy and even the state, which is suffering major personnel shortages in vital areas like the police. While Russia has traditionally relied on migrant labor from Central Asia, it has recently been restricting and expelling them, particularly after the March 2024 Crocus City Hall terrorist attack, which was carried out by migrant workers from Tajikistan. It is now looking to replace them with as many as 1 million Indians, Sri Lankans, and North Koreans, according to Andrei Besedin of the Ural Chamber of Commerce and Industry. African workers were tried, but employers were dissatisfied with their performance. This is causing great discontent among Russian workers. They complain that the new arrivals take far lower wages and bring different mentalities and practices, such as food, hygiene, religious rituals, personal boundaries. Uzbeks and Tajiks change all the food in the canteen to halal because they usually come in large numbers. There are more of them, and the whole canteen eventually adapts to their tastes. You can forget about Russian or European cuisine. Volokyevskoye, a small village of around 1,000 people in the Kaliningrad region, is now host to hundreds of Indian workers employed at the For the Motherland fish processing plant. A local resident, Elena, says, "In the evening you walk through the village. They return from the plant. It feels like you are walking in India. You walk along and look around to see if they are filming a Bollywood movie." Alexei, a Russian shift worker, says that there are Indian workers everywhere in Russia, across a range of industries. This is nothing new, but if their numbers increase sharply, Russian shift workers will definitely revolt. It's not just a fight against wage dumping, There's also a sharp discrepancy in hygiene standards. The only people the guys respect and are always happy to have as partners are North Koreans. They're like soldiers. They unload in formation, arrive at the site on the dot, leave in formation, and have the same level of hygiene habits as Russians. They don't even have hot water. They wash in cold water, and they eat everything. Well, they're like robots, and they work even faster than us. While Russian employers say that they are very happy with their North Korean workers, 50,000 of whom are being imported to work in the construction sector alone, the workers themselves are reportedly being treated as little more than slaves. In a recent BBC report, escapees from North Korean work gangs in Russia describe being worked 20 hours a day with only 2 days off in a year, and sleeping in dirty, overcrowded containers infested with insects or on the floors of unfinished buildings. The labor shortage is also likely to boost the profits of Russia's slave masters. The country has an estimated 1.9 million people in involuntary servitude. Recent reports have highlighted the growth of a vast industry of workhouses. Trump, day before the Putin meeting.
President, thank you. Do you think this summit and the incentives for peace you are putting on the table could end up rewarding Putin for his invasion of Ukraine? And what kind of signal do you think that could potentially send to other aggressors?
No, I don't think it's a reward. I think that what we have is a situation that should never have started. We have a meeting with President Putin tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good meeting, but the more important meeting will be the second meeting that we're having. We're going to have a meeting with President Putin, President Zelensky, myself, and maybe we'll bring some of the European leaders along, maybe not. I don't know that it's going to be very important. We're going to see what happens.
Rubio added some details to the story.
Well, to achieve a peace, I think we all recognize that there'll have to be some conversation about security guarantees. There'll have to be some conversation about, territorial disputes and claims and what they're fighting over. All these things will be part of a comprehensive thing. But I think the president's hope is to achieve some stoppage of fighting so that those conversations can happen. These are tiny technical things that take some time to work out. So to have a peace agreement between Ukraine and Russia, you will need agreement from both Ukraine and Russia. And this war has been going on for 3.5 years now. It was a war that started under the previous administration. The president's inherited that, and he's trying to do now what he can to bring it to an end. But obviously, the longer these wars go on, the harder they are to end. And even as I speak, even as we talk here now, there are changes happening in the battlefield which have an impact on what one side views as leverage or the other. So that's the reality of ongoing fighting, which is why a ceasefire is so critical. That's been our proposal from Jeddah when we left in Saudi Arabia. But we'll see what's possible tomorrow. Let's see how the talks go. And we're hopeful. We want there to be a peace. We're going to do everything we can to achieve one, but ultimately it'll be up to Ukraine and Russia to agree to one.
Dad! Dad! A Ukrainian defender was held in Russian captivity for 1,207 days. Today, he met his son for the first time after returning from captivity. It's truly heart-wrenching.
Привет, папа. Все хорошо. Давай. Мы тебя ждем. Я скучал по тебе. Я скучал. Наконец.
А скільки був у полоні?
1207 днів.
Вітаємо!
Просто впізнали мого сина. Хто впізнав вас? Ні. Дайте сюди. Діти просто впізнали. Вітаємо! То вам теж
Вітаємо! Вітаємо!
Вам теж допомогти.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comments section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. He's doing the job every day.